Hello, Mixer. So, sort of a redo of last night. Modified a few things, but major thing is redemption on pasta. So, we have, once again, this time I believe properly. I think this was my issue last time. I think I misweighed what we have here, but this is 10 ounces of flour and semolina. Semolina's on the bottom because I didn't strain it. There was a little clump there with the flour, but not much. Give this guy a quick rinse out. Okay, so got that. We'll add our eggs. Oops. Need to be able to see what I'm talking about here. We got sifted flour. I just cleaned the flour sifter, and you see on the bottom there. So we got about 50-50. I'm using the last of my semolina, so we're actually maybe more like 40-60, but major thing is 10 ounces. And we'll add our eggs. Now that we get our other eggs on the flame. And with cover. So, use even though I can tell that yolk is broken, let's try and save it. A little bit of egg white there, but not, we're fine. So an extra egg than last night. There are those. Back in the fridge with our eggs. So this is already feeling 10 times better than yesterday. Yesterday it was just like unwilling to move, unwilling to knead. This is doing much better. Thanks, E-Wizard. Have a good one. Salt is a good reminder. Right, nice boil there. Cut the heat and give that 10 minutes. Starting to get there, starting to get more pliable once again. starting to get doughier again. It's like you get the dough to a certain point and the gluten's sort of like, okay, we're stretched out. We're free. I think we've done our 5 minutes here now, but okay. So we're gonna let that guy rest. Put him in the fridge. And we'll get the flour off my table and off my hands, all that good stuff. So we're waiting on our eggs here at the moment. It's add some oil to our frying pan here. So I'm gonna do pan frying on our. Got another two fillets of rock cod. Rock cod. I mean, it didn't get much color last night, but that was good. It came out tasting great. But in my pursuit of always doing things a little bit different, I wanted redemption on the pasta. We're doing the pasta pretty much identically the same as last night, other than I think weighing things properly, but might as well try and do the fish a little bit different and try something different and see how that turns out differently. I need an ice bath for our eggs here. Got an ice bath here for our eggs. Going to turn our water on in the back just to get it hot and going, because it's going to take forever to get hot on that small little burner back there. Actually, I think it'll be better over here, even though you guys won't be able to see it as well. Okay, we let these go over a minute or two. They were under the other last night, so I'm giving them another minute or two here. I'm still sort of learning how to do them in this pan. I put the ramekin in there to keep them from banging around when they're boiling. It's always been sort of a standard recipe in other places, but I think working with a smaller pan here is screwing me up. got those chilling. Next step here is going to be the same as last week. Let's see, let's get this pasta queen hooks back up here. That's this. Oops. Wrong way. I did 4 eggs boiling, but planning to only use one of these guys tonight because I'm only using it for the garnish. I'm not using it for more of the salmon dip, which was amazing. Is still amazing. Ate some of it last night. Ate a fair amount of it today for lunch. Still some more left that maybe appetizer. I've got this is going to be a pretty good plate though. So got more of our box Chardonnay. Not exactly beautiful, but I do think it has the smell from being in the box, in the plastic, which I think I'm gonna resort to just using box wines for cooking and stuff like that. But I still don't use enough to make it. Box wine's not for me. I think box wine for maybe even a family of 4 with cooking, but not for family of 1. Oh, that's what I can get prepped on here now, rather than sitting around. We can get our veggies done up here. We're gonna. Oh, I got onion that I did up last night too. This diced onion, we're going to add a little bit more. I'm not going to cut this whole thing. Actually, I take that back. I am going to cut this whole thing. Ah. Oh well. And then, sort of out of order here, I'm gonna cut these greens off. We're gonna use some of the greens for our, with our sort of herbs for tonight. I'm gonna use just some of the bulb here, and the rest of this we're gonna save for stock, because I'm gonna actually be doing stock here on next Friday. So it also probably won't be looking great, but it'll taste fine in the stock. So, and so I don't usually do a lot of fennel. Not a huge fan of fennel normally. But when you get fresh fennel right in, here in wintertime when it's the coolest time of the year, you get the most sweetness out of it. And on top of that, we're going to be practically charring it in the pan and cooking that before we add the onions in. So it gets really cooked in there. But it develops some really nice flavors for in there, especially when it comes into seafood. And so it's quite fibrous, so we're going to cut across the fiber here for this. Although I do want it noticeable that it's in there, so we're going to do slices like this. Like, this would also be great in a mandolin doing this, if I had my Chinese mandolin. Nice thin slices. Sort of ugly. I can just smell that like anise licorice smell coming off of this right now too, which is not the flavor we're looking for here. Onion, fennel bulb, and then for when in our I don't know if I want to call it bechamel or Alfredo. It's definitely not a traditional Alfredo, because I'm not going to load this with garlic. I love garlic. You'll see me use a ton of garlic when I use lamb. But when we're cooking with crab here, something light, buttery, I'm not looking for that type of Alfredo. So we're going to add a little bit of that in with our herbs for this evening. So it's going to be a cream sauce, but it's going to be a heavy herb cream sauce. We're going to have lots of fennel there. We're going to have a fair amount of parsley here. parsley all over the floor here. Police out in force tonight. Been on my short jaunt around to grab some new fish and some more eggs. Saw police all over town. I don't know if you heard it. I assume you heard it, but sirens just passed by again. This is unusual here in the neighborhood. Actually, due to the amount of stems we're going to have here, I'm actually going to save them for our stock here on Friday as well. So we'll be doing mead on Wednesday. We got our mead bottling here coming up in 2 days. And then chicken stock on Friday. Maybe lamb stock as well. We'll see here. Maybe knock both of them out at once. I've got the pots to do it. Working in reverse here. Wow. So we'll throw these back in the fridge with our other parsley. And scrunch these guys up. A nasty little ball. I'm not trying to bruise them, just trying to sort of roll them and corral them all together as tightly as possible without bruising them. And then fine chop. Pause with our knife against the board here. Mostly not long strands here with this. Not my best work with parsley, but it shall do. And lastly, just to make this an absolute green bomb, yeah, a few more. Okay, so we got our herbs, we got all that. Gonna throw on another fan here because I'm starting to sweat. And we'll crack some of our hard-cooked eggs here. And like yesterday's, we'll pass those through a strainer, so we're not really too worried about them being perfect. Though it'd be nice if they would peel cleanly, just for my sake. Yesterday they sort of looked like ass. And so far this guy is, as I talk, it starts peeling a little bit uglier, so I should just shut up. So, relatively clean job there. Not perfect, but we'll separate our yolk, which a little bit more cook through this evening. Last night was just on the edge of usable. This is just on the edge of usable. Let's set that off to the side here. Crack our egg. This guy seems a bit more cooperative as well. Oh, I forgot to try and do the hot egg in a jar thing again. Oh well. That one peeled actually a little bit cleaner. That one, two little marks there, basically all that's up. So we'll mash these through strainer here. Rinse off all the yolk here and dry it off. Nice light fluffy yolk. Great for our garnish. Set this guy over here. And round two. Always a way to get water flying all over the kitchen, spraying a ladle. the whites here, it's almost a little bit like grating it against sandpaper. Or what the... Did I say the yolks, the whites? It's actually beginning to hurt my arm here. Come on, press through. Okay. Getting close now. Go with that. Grab our There we go. That's enough fussing for that, just for garnish. Okay, let's make our cream sauce. Actually, no, let's do our pasta first. Throw our stock scraps back in the fridge. Pull out our refrigerated pasta dough here. Get rid of our extra 2 eggs that I'll snack on here and for lunch on Sunday. Soon. keep this pan from cream sauce anyways. These guys up here. So just gonna flatten this guy down a little bit here. This is what I'm talking about with pasta dough. That madness that I had. That madness that I was trying to roll for like an hour last night was worlds different from this. Just so they don't repeat yesterday's mistake as well of spilling herbs all over the place. We'll get these guys all up and out of the way here of our rolling. Just flattening it out a little bit just to get it going in here in our pasta machine. And so we'll switch here. Man, you're gonna go, you're still too dry. The outer edges, if you notice it all, the crackle pattern is all the outer edges because I didn't wrap it in plastic wrap or anything, so it's the outer edges are a bit drier here. But once we get it started, it'll go. Because percentage-wise, the dry part is fine. Oh. This machine has a habit of trying to make a liar out of me, though. Come on, let's go. Still making a liar out of me. So now this is something workable here. Because pasta does tend to look a little ugly the first turn or two, because before we had just kneaded it. We had worked all the gluten, but we don't have all the gluten facing in the same direction here. What we're doing with this is we're getting all that gluten to face the same direction. Here in boiling water back here, that's good. Turn you down to a, just keep you happy level. Give this a little bit of a quick roll that direction. Okay. Back through here. This guy should be much prettier this time through. Makes a liar out of me again. No. The hole's getting less and less, patches come less and less. We pull out the herbs that we're getting off of the counter here. Alright. After this one, I think we'll start scaling it down in size. So much better than yesterday. This is great. I lied, one more. This way. There we go. Roll this through the next set of rollers. frying water right above a frying pan is generally not a good combo there, but that's not how I intend to work all evening. So that's down the next level. We'll go even one more level down as far as thinness. This is our level 2. We're moving on to level 3. So much better, this dough. This dough is just infinitely better than yesterday's. I ran this thing through here, that dough through here 40, 50 times, and it just wouldn't come together. This one, look at that. So we're going to double down on this guy once again. Fill up all those gaps. That's what we're doing here with that. Plus we're also, every time we're folding it over, we're helping move that gluten all in the long lines this way. You can sort of see it developing in the lines through here. Part of that's just what the roller's imprinting on there, but on to level 3. One thinner here. We're definitely going to have to cut it here after this guy. Getting a bit long. And this one's going to make it even longer. We're going for thin angel hair like here, so see where our middle here is. did these once more at 5th. We're going to do one more. We're not going to go the finest level here, but we're going to go close. We're going to go second finest. And then we're going to use the, I don't know if I want to call it angel hair. It's a little bit thicker than angel hair cutter that's on this already. So we'll have nice fine noodles. Realizing I probably need a pasta drying rack or something here for if I'm going to keep making pasta at home, which I have been doing quite a bit here. It's sort of surprising how poorly it turned out yesterday for me. I've been doing pasta and it's been fine so far. Okay, don't want to roll on that side. Let's use this side. So this guy, we're going to cut this guy in roughly half again. So we'll have 4 pieces to run through our cutter. Move the thing up here to the cutting side. Get ourselves a hotel pan here. Add some flour to the bottom just so that we can hold our pasta. It's a nice thin pasta. I'm going to throw all the cut ends in there because it's me. I'm not going to worry about that little bit of fanciness. Before these guys get to wind blowing from sitting here with the fan blows on me. So this is getting more wind than it really should be. Drying out quicker. See there on the end there, it's go. Never wants the feed perfectly straight. Always got to play some little game to get things going straight. Just tossing this all with that flour a little bit, trying to get it all nicely coated on the outside so it's not sticky to each other. Add a bit more flour in here for the next couple of batches. Go in there. Bark. Just won't bite. Cheating using a little pasta glue. almost to the end. Can I do it all in one thing without repositioning any of it? Okay, cheating again. Bit more pasta glue. It's dry enough now. What's happening now here is the pasta is dried out enough that it's bouncing off the rollers rather than catching and pulling through. So I'm using a little water just to get it started through the rollers. Come on, go down in there. There we go. Say that worked out much better than last week or yesterday. How is this thing so far? There we go. It's a little bit better. But okay. So we got our pasta hanging out. Clean up all of our pasta scraps here. Brush the flour off of my shirt. Welcome back. Thanks for the sparks. I need more box wine. Plastic aroma. Okay, let's get our cream sauce going here. Turn the pan on lower heat here, lower bottom here, and add some butter to our pan. Gonna do a basic roux here. Guess there was some water in the pan. Not gonna make a ton of roux here, just about a tablespoon or so worth. So that, and we're just doing a very light sort of cream sauce. I wrote Alfredo, I think, in my description here, but as I said earlier, we're keeping it a bit cleaner and simpler for the crab. Kill the heat on this for the moment, because I don't want to develop this too much, and I don't want the pan to be too hot when we throw my half and half in there, or the half and half in there. Using half and half instead of cream. Partly because it's a little bit healthier, but partly because I got half and half in the house for coffee already, so. Turn our heat back on, but at just over a boil temp. Yeah. Don't worry about these lumps. The heat, once it comes to a heat, they'll break up. So this is just going to lightly thicken this a little bit. Instead of a bunch of garlic here, we are going to use some garlic in for dinner tonight, but instead of a bunch of garlic here in our sauce, we're going to be using Old Bay. Ooh, new container. I don't use Old Bay a lot. Just good Old Bay. I'm not going to be shy here either. So I need to bring this back up to a boil here we want to do it slowly so we don't curdle our half and half, but we want to bring this back up to a full boil here so that it's fully thickened, and then we're going to put this on the back burner and saute our veg. After this is all those lumps have now disappeared. I've either worked them out or they've cooked themselves out here. Using all 4 burners here tonight. So we're working on bringing that back up to a boil so it's fully thickened. Going to add some heat to this guy here. Do a little organic sunflower oil. Swap our mics so you guys can hear all the fun stuff happening on the stove. This is where we're going to add our garlic. Because we're going to add it in here with our onion, our fennel, and our onion and fennel. Just one nice clove. I'm not going to smash it. Just one nice slices here. Actually showing off the garlic for once. Slice there. Nice thick slices in there. We're going to throw this in when we throw in the onions. Is our pan here hot yet? Yeah, we're getting there. Turn the heat up a little bit. Definitely thickening up here. Should have taken a little bit closer watch at that. Thankfully it hasn't stuck to the bottom. We've just got some thickening going on. We're going to add, I pulled out some wine from the box earlier. We're going to add a little bit of that to here, not too much. And the rest we're going to use for the deglaze on the veggies. Now our pan's starting to feel like it's warm, our oil's moving. Starting to get a little bit of a smoke here. This is a pretty high, sunflower oil is a pretty high smoke oil, so we're not really worried about getting it smoking like if we were using olive oil or something like that. We're already past olive oil smoking temp, I think, here. And I'm starting, like I said earlier, with the thin fennel slices. they'll we want to cook them, because I'm not interested in the licorice. I'm interested in the rest of it. Really smell that going. I'll use a small guy for this. But we do want that brownie, sort of like when you're doing Brussels sprouts. We want that brownie, we want that Maillard. Well, it's not protein, so it's not Maillard, but we want that caramelization. We want that. You can see our sauce back here is thickened up nicely. It's still nice sauce, but it's got some weight to it still too. Gonna turn our oil on here. Well, actually, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna move the oil over here so that we're not boiling and frying in the same spot. While these guys are cooking away here, gonna turn our oven on to a low temp. I think this goes to 170, yeah. And that's really just going to be so that we can hot hold our fish while we finish our pasta. Getting close here, guys, getting close. Need some final countdown music here. Starting to get a little bit of that char, starting to get a little bit of that caramelization. Let's pull our fish out here. Probably the supermarket name that I got the fish from. And hopefully push our knife so we don't have to move our wine glass. There we go. So definitely got some bones in here again. Gonna have to go after those guys. Not many though. Both of these, both yesterday and today, we've had bones, but they haven't been major. They're not in through here. These guys are sort of young, small guys, I guess. That or it's tail end slices of fillets. Okay. We want charring, we want browning and not burning here, so I'm going to turn our sauce down. And with this, we're going to add some salt to help pull out moisture from what's left there. It's almost immediate. You start hearing a little bit more sizzle from that. And we're going to add our onions and garlic. And give this all a good mix so that it's going to add a hint more oil to this. And a hint of sesame oil as well. We'll go with toasted tonight instead of plain. So give us a little bit of nutty flavor in there with our veggies. So we'll start by pulling bones. We're going to leave these guys whole tonight. Instead, we're going to be pan frying them. So, I did pan seared yesterday without it being very nice for caramelization. They were just too thin. I wasn't really thinking of that. It's not a fish that's, or at least as it's cut, as it's prepared, is not great for pan searing. See what we got here for veggies. Okay. Cut our heat on those. Got some nice color on all of those. this is going to be sort of our accent on the bait to our Old Bay and herb sauce, which we're going to have to thin out a little bit here, even with our small roux job. So we're going to add wine in here, get all this all happy. We're going to pull this out. So we got those. Now we can set this pan aside and start our frying going. Move our sauce over here in front of that. Move you back there. Kill the heat in the back. Turn the heat on in the oil. Sort of a high boil temp there, but just barely a full solid boil temp there. And we need some more liquid in our sauce here, so we'll don't want to add more wine because I don't want to do more damage to that. So add about a quarter cup of water there. Okay, we got our bones out on our fish. We need to salt this guy liberally. These guys, this guy, these guys. Most certainly not the same fish here still. I'm not really intending to leave all of this salt on there when I cook this. We're gonna salt this and we're gonna pat it dry, but we're gonna get our frying stuff ready here in the meantime. So we're going to need a plate of cornstarch, plate of breadcrumbs here. Starting to smell that oil heating up. see what we got here. Oh, we got a ways to go though. Sorry for the screeching. So we got a plate of cornstarch here that we'll use to dry up the outsides of these guys, get them nice and crispy. Then we're going to use breadcrumbs to keep them tasty. Breadcrumbs, and lastly we need an egg bath, so we'll use this for our egg bath. Running out of room tonight, but since I'm redeeming myself, I'm going to extremes here. We need another egg. Right back into our nearly boiling liquid, so I don't have to worry about it being sanitary. No. Pasta redemption. I failed on pasta last night. And so I've gone back and redone pasta. We've got fish. And we're going to do a Old Bay and herb cream sauce with Dungeness crab and with fried fish on top. So going a little bit to extremes. I was planning on doing, I did do pan-seared fish yesterday. That was also sort of a little bit of a fail because these fillets that I'm buying, these rock cod, are too thin for pan-searing. So we've got seared, caramelized, fennel, onion, and garlic in here. We've got hard-cooked egg yolk and egg white. We got our setup here for our fish going. How's our oil looking? We getting up the temp here? We're raising up there to almost 250 over here on the hot side. Wait until sort of the last minute here. I'm going to add the crab in here sort of last minute along with all the herbs. Get started on battering our fish. I put all that salt on here. We want to pull all that off with all the moisture now. Going to add more Old Bay in with our breadcrumbs too. Dungeness all mixed in. Probably should have just left a paper towel on there. Wow, it's just pulling moisture all out of that thing. Okay, dried off fish into the cornstarch. Don't want any bubbles of cornstarch here. We just want a nice even coat on everything. So we want to make sure that there's no heavy duty areas before we move on to the egg. Just soaks that egg up. Gonna need a place to put these after I'm done with the oil. So we'll get ourselves a hotel pan with a rack. Just off camera here. I have my oven already preheated so that we're nice and warm to just keep our fish hot. Got our fish nice and lightly coated with the egg and the cornstarch. Don't want to throw our pasta on the ground after we spent so long and 2 days trying to figure it out. Let's check our oil temp, see if we're ready to drop that in yet. Yeah, 300, 250. Close. No cigar. Dropping a little water in there. That's always fun with oil. Bit heavy on the cornstarch on this guy. We're going to have to work a little bit of this off. Still 270s over here on the cold side, cold edge. We want to get this up at least 325, let's say 335 over here, because we have we got like nearly a 30-degree difference here from either side of the pan. So we got cold and hot, and then we got sort of 280, sort of the same there and there. So I'm going to lay the fish this way. Should give us our most even cooking here. Get rid of our raw fish board. Alright, so we're doing fish tonight, we're doing meat on Wednesday, and we're doing stock on Friday. So Friday we're going to be doing a long stream. Going to be here probably 6-ish hours between, actually could be even longer. We're going to cook the chicken stock for about 6 hours, and if I can get people to talk to me, I'll hang out here and chat. Haven't quite figured out what I want to do for dinner on Friday or for Wednesday, to be honest. Wednesday is going to be quite a bit of work with the mead, so I don't want to be involved in a whole bunch of other stuff. And actually with the stock too, the stock I can be more involved with stuff because by the time it gets to dinner time, it's just sitting there on the stove. So maybe I'll do something more interesting on Friday to go along with the stock. But Wednesday's going to be mead, and more mead. $335, that's what I said I wanted to get it up to. Let's see, we're down 310 here. So we're about 318. Yeah, let's get the center here more like 320. Let's go another 10 degrees here. 325 I meant. Plastic bag. Now that I've identified it, and I read it as plastic bag. Beyond that, it's a drinkable wine. It's nothing. It's like I said before. It's 4 bottles in a box. It's box wine. So it's $4 Chuck territory, but it's but I think the lesson from that is that in a one-person home, I'm not going to go through that. Even with the fact that I drink wine, all that stuff, I'm not going to go through that box properly. Family house probably would, even just a couple. But me individually, not going to happen. So probably not going to do box wine again anytime soon. We got that 333, so we're looking good there now. hot and cold. Oops. That's dangerous. That shouldn't have happened. We want to pull that up too in case. Check our temps again. And we've dropped down, so we're going to give this another minute or two, bring this back up to temp. I'm going to raise the heat a little bit. So that first boy came out looking beautiful. I'm gonna crack some fine salt over the top rather than using kosher. Normally use kosher grind for just about everything, but with fried foods, my understanding is it has more of a tendency to want to bounce. And so it doesn't stick to fried foods. And so a finer grind does better. Turn this on low heat here on the bottom. See what we're doing here on temps again. It was picking quite up nicely, heating up quite nicely. Yeah, I'm doing an extra day today, Legacy. I messed up on my pasta yesterday. My pasta turned out lousy yesterday, and so I'm sort of trying to do redemption here. Got a nice new batch of pasta ready to go in that fryer. Worked out much better tonight. We're frying up some fish, which looking quite lovely here. And just finishing up. Okay, I think it's time to put our fish in the fry. Oops. Come on. I have done lamb jerky in the past. If you look on my Instagram, it's way down there. That is on my list here, but it is on my list here. The biggest problem is my dehydrator is off camera. I do have a nice dehydrator that would work great for that. Carefully. You may not want to use your fingers doing that like I did. Onto our wire rack here. Fresh grind of salt. Then I'm going to put both of these lovely things. I cut the heat on the oil here while I'm talking. Put these down. I've got my oven set to 170, so we're really just keeping these warm. We'll forget the oils here, basically. Move our excess oil out of the picture. Move on from fish spatula to spider. And boil our pasta here now. Actually, I take that back. We're going to add our crab to the sauce here first, along with our herbs. So that's ready to go. I'm going to start with our herbs, actually. We got chive, fennel frond, and parsley. Just a little bit of parsley there. Just a little bit of fennel. And I'm going to reserve a little bit of the chive for garnish. On here with our egg. Aw, listen to your mom. I know I started arguing in your favor yesterday, but mom's opinion counts too. So we got some nice crab here. Local farm crab, nice and tasty. Just the top layer of the nice stuff, and then most of the stuff in the bottom's broken up. Good flavor. A little cold, so you don't get all the flavor from it yet. So we'll throw it in here. We'll switch from using a whisk to using a spoon here. We're just going to put all of this in here. We're going to try and keep those claw pieces nice and large, but after tossing it in here and then tossing it in the... That's a lot of crab too. That was a good deal. I'm so going to have to go back to her place. Look at that. That's a ridiculous amount of crab there. And it's all nicely done. There we go with that. We're going to finish this. Obviously, it's crab. Ouch. Well, if you eat like me, you won't have that problem. Since it's crab, since it's me, we of course got to finish our sauce with some butter. So we'll toss this in there too. Our water seems to have lost its boil, so we're going to turn the heat up on that. And this will just slowly bring back up to its temp. We got that barely at boil temp, so that shouldn't increase in temp very quickly. Actually, let's see if I can't sneak this guy in back here. Move him over here where I know the burner a little bit better. Put a lid on our pasta to get that boiling again. Man, we got a lot of dirty dishes tonight. I went all out after messing up on that pasta last night. I was so annoyed. So much happier with this. It's starting to get a little dry now, but we're about to throw it in the water, so I'm not too worried about that. But much happier with this evening. So this is warming up nicely. Let's pull this, let's pull this forward onto the front burner. Okay, so we're back to a boil here. Ready to go with our pasta, finally. Yay! Add some salt. All right. And so, drop in about half of our pasta here. We'll do this in 2 batches tonight. Need somewhere to put our fresh pasta after it's done. Grab a fresh bowl here. Add some of our nice olive oil to this. Well, I don't have crappy olive oil, so our olive oil. And just coat the pan here, the bowl here nicely, so that when our pasta is done cooking, which it should be just about done cooking now, I'm going to stir it up a little bit and let it go a little bit long, but so it gets nice and coated as soon as we're done Yeah, I just added a little bit there. Not a lot. I added salt to my pasta, so I don't have to worry about adding salt to my water. There is some misnomers there. I mean, adding salt to water will raise the temperature of salt of the water, but it's such a minute amount that it will raise the temperature of the water that you won't see a benefit out of it, which is what some people use as a reasoning for that. So we'll pull our pasta out now. Make sure and get that a nice stir around with that oil so everything doesn't become sticky. Raise the temp on our water again. Pour ourselves some more box wine. Let's get ourselves a plate out here for dinner. Gonna use white, rare occasion for me. Pull out Grandma's old plates. So we're back to a decent boil here again. We'll add the last of our pasta. And let's get too much flour with it. So everything but the scraps are in there now. So much happier after yesterday. Yesterday was such a failure. That fried chicken looks, or the fried fish looks amazing. Our Dungeness crab and cream sauce is lovely. Pull these guys off just a little bit off screen here. This is sauteed fennel with onion and garlic. So we got some fennel notes and anise flavor. A little licorice-like background to things, but that's not really what we're after. Hit this with a bit more olive oil, even though I had quite a bit in the pan to begin with. Alright, so we'll take our pasta here. switch over to our board. Just finishing up here. We got pasta. I thought I had a flame under that. That's cold. Aw. It's not cold, but it's not hot. As you can see, the butter hasn't melted. So we'll bring this back up to a temp here. Turn our water or pan off in the back. It's smoking madly. And wait until our butter melts in there. Give me an idea of how warm we're at. I am stirring this, but I'm not really bashing the sides or anything. I'm not doing anything that's going to crush up that crab. So we still got decent large chunks in there. Now I can smell that crab. Now it's smelling good. So this is a cream sauce with, there's half and half. There's wine that's thickened with the roux. And then after letting that simmer for a while, I added the herbs and the crab. Now that this is up to at least a simmer temp, which I am slightly rushing reheating that because we got our pasta here waiting. See if we can't put a full nice couple of nice full pieces of meat there. We got egg white for on the sides. You got egg yolk for around the outsides for color here. You got chives. We got our sauteed veg. I'm going to go sort of light on and put our fish over the top. manual mow. I think we'll go with this guy. So there we go. Now let's throw a little more top of that. That looks like a decent dinner compared to last night. If I had myself a permanent house set up instead of a rental thing, I'd probably have it set up for taking a photo like that too, so that I don't have to worry about angles and everything. I'd probably just have one of my old cell phones or something set up so that I could just take pictures, but I'm not going to mount things to the table or... Anyways, very happy with how dinner came out looking this evening. I think I'm going to enjoy this greatly. Want to thank you guys for joining me on sort of a special stream day, sort of a redemption stream, and hope to see you back here on Wednesday when we crack open this meat and see what's been chilling here for a couple months. See what we got. Hopefully it's not white lightning. Thank you all. Thank you for the sparks this evening. Thank you for stopping by earlier, eWizard. If you guys haven't checked out eWizard, go check out him on Sundays. He does gaming on other days, but he does cooking on Sundays. And I will see you on Wednesday. And also Friday, stock on Friday. Gonna be doing chicken stock, maybe lamb stock on Friday. But otherwise, have a great evening.